Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another live stream Tuesday, and I hope you had a good start to the week and that you had a good Monday if that's at all possible. And I can see you guys in the live chat room already. I might give you a quick shout out, why not? In there we have Laurie, Kevin, Melody Rocks, Ro, Rocking Bay, PM112, Cindy, Howard, Jennifer, Laurie and Laurie, and Ninja Kitty, Laura, Angela, Mo, Rose, Billy, Ruth, Cindy, Pamela in there, PM112, and it's gone through too quickly. So hello, and it's good to see you on this Tuesday night. Now let me get the names of my patrons up on screen because they make this all possible in the first place, and their names go across the bottom of the live streams on a Tuesday and a Saturday. because they make the live streams possible, but also everything that I do on the channel. I always say they are the foundation of everything that I do. So big thanks to these people at the bottom of the screen. We are going to try and get organised tonight, and we'll get the likes goal up on screen because if I remember correctly, last Tuesday we didn't hit the likes goal. So whenever that happens, we then take the target back down again and then gradually build it up. And the target for tonight is 330. That's what we're going to be aiming for. So if you could hit the thumbs up as you come through the door, that would be very much appreciated. And we will see where we end up by the end of the live stream. If we do hit that target, we are going to be having Phil Jam number 283. Let's get the likeometer up on screen to see where we are at. At the moment, we are hitting 178. So yeah, maybe we can get a bit of a spike of the likes right at the beginning of the live stream. And yeah, if we get up towards 200, it'll be easy for me to work out. But I'm going to say we need 144. That's what I've gone with. That's the number that my brain just threw at me. So I don't know whether that's right or wrong, but that's going to be the maths for tonight. And we can see we are approaching 200. So thank you guys for this spike. And maybe we will hit the target tonight. We will see. But yeah, it'd be good to kind of get back on the Phil Jam bandwagon. We had that on Saturday, so we did actually have the jam that we were supposed to have last Tuesday on Saturday, and tonight, yeah, will be a different one as always. We always move on to another random jam, and yeah, number 283. So we'll keep an eye on that. But I always say that when we reach 200 quite early in the live stream, it's a good sign. So it's a good sign so far. Now, the only other thing for me to get up on screen is the donations tab, because at this point I always say you don't have to donate. Just watching is great. And the reason that I smile is because of, yeah, some people that don't understand that I'm not asking for money and I don't ask for donations and all that kind of stuff. I think it's usually just trolls that don't watch my channel and think I must be doing that, but I definitely don't do that, as you guys will know on the live streams. And in my analysis videos, I never mention anything about donating or PayPal or anything like that, or I don't even do any sponsorships. So during my analysis videos, I won't do anything but the analysis video and the performance that I have been asked to look at. And that's another thing. People don't watch my channel and maybe see one video and don't realize that it's an analysis video that has been requested. And yeah, I saw a comment earlier today that was along those lines of saying, oh, why are you picking on this person or that person? It's not, first of all, it's not picking on anyone. It's an objective analysis of a performance, and whatever's happening in the performance I will say, and that's just the way it is. So I think we're always going to get this kind of thing where people might be a fan of a particular band or artist and it's just their own. I guess if I'm pointing out something that they don't like the sound of, then the defense mechanism kicks in, which we've explained before on the channel. But anyway, back to donations. You don't have to donate, but for those people that do, I think it's important that they know between 45 and 60% goes to YouTube through the Super Chat window, and on PayPal it's between 3 and 5%, and you can find a PayPal link in the description below. But yeah, you don't have to donate. Right, so the last analysis video that we did kind of, links to what I was just saying about people maybe seeing something that I'm pointing out, or just saying what's happened. And the last one was the Pat Benatar performance, Austin City Limits. And there's a bit in that particular video, and why it was requested, I think, is because the vocal happens when the mic is nowhere near Pat's mouth. And when that happens, it just means that the audio we're hearing is not part of this performance. And the problem always occurs when the channel or whoever's uploading it states that it is a live performance, because people tend to pair live imagery with live audio. They think that both of those things are going to be live when it is described as being live, either in the description or in the title. So I think that's a major part where I guess people trip up, or maybe the video trips up, because by saying that it's a live performance, I think that's the assumption everybody makes. So then when I point out the fact that the audio is not to do with this performance, that's just me telling you what is happening, what is going on, and that's it. And I know that some people have commented saying, "Oh, I've been in TV or live performances for years, and what's happened here is they've pre-recorded the song maybe in a rehearsal, so then they can use that footage. So the audio might be from the live performance, but then they've used footage from the rehearsal, and that's why it doesn't match up." And again, for me, it really depends on where that bar is, where you set the bar as a show, as to when you say that something's a live performance. If you think, oh yeah, it's live, but we don't mind if the audio isn't from the imagery, or that the imagery isn't from the audio. So I think a lot of people are expecting a TV show, if it's being promoted as being live, to actually have the two things there together, and not the audio from another time. But it is something that happens regularly. And again, with the analysis, all I'm doing is pointing out what we're seeing, and that it isn't the audio from the imagery that we're looking at. And one person did say that a simple email or question to the right person would have saved a lot of, it was, speculation and witch hunting. And they use that term, and that's, I didn't reply to it, because I get a bit tired of trying to tell people all the time that it's not a witch hunt. And maybe if they watch other videos, they'll realize that they are all requested, and I just point out what is happening. So, and the other thing that I get this comment quite a lot, where they say, "Oh, have you spoken to the person? Have you sent an email to whoever's involved in the video?" It's impossible to magically email somebody who's going to know the answer. And this person who said about a lot of time could have been saved. Well, first of all, I've been asked to analyse a performance, and that's all it is. I'm analysing the performance, and that's what I do on my channel. I'm not going off and somebody says, "Oh, can you analyse this performance and tell me what's going on?" And then I say, "No, I'm going to go and take your performance and now email all the people that I can find, if I can find anybody's email address who might have been on the production team on the night, or maybe try and email Pat Benatar herself and see if she's going to answer." And the world doesn't work like that, where you can just email someone. They say, "Oh, hi, Phil. Great to get an email from you. I'm now going to reply because I'm not doing anything in my life and I've just been waiting for your email." So these people that live in a dream world, that firstly, they think that trying to contact somebody who I've never contacted before, and is going to be probably contacted by hundreds, if not thousands of people a week, if they're a very popular artist, how they think that my email is going to get through, that somehow that gets put to the top. It doesn't happen. So it would have been a lot longer to go along those lines, but I know that I can point out what's going on anyway. So why would I need to email somebody? Because they would just say, "Oh yeah, what we did was we took this footage and we took that audio and they were different." I already know that, because that's what I'm showing in the analysis. I'm using objective data. So yeah, it's going to be quicker for me to just find out what was going on with the data that is online and provided by the official Austin City Limits channel. So it's not even a third-party channel where it could have been edited and it might not be representative of the actual video that was released. It's from the official channel. So yeah, it's a lot quicker and easier for me to just get the objective data, get the pitch data on screen, I didn't even need the pitch data for that, because we could look at timing parts that were off with the phrasing of the vocal, just slowing the video down, and then not having the microphone by her mouth when that particular phrase was coming in. But even with that, you could say, right, so how does that, I mean, now that I'm thinking about it, I think, well, okay, the one bit where she had the mic by her hip and we heard that vocal extemporization so clearly, that was maybe using rehearsal footage. Okay, so it still means my analysis is correct. But how does that explain all the other parts that I then pointed out? Does that mean we're now looking at rehearsal footage multiple times in that live performance? And if that is the case, then I would say, well, now this bar that I spoke about earlier has really started to come further and further and further down. Because if we're saying right now, a live performance means you can take loads of footage and loads of audio from other shows and put it in that video, that still counts as live. For me, I think, well, yeah, now we're kind of pushing the bar so far down as to what's live. That doesn't constitute live, in my opinion. For me, live is is the person actually there and they are performing and singing, and everything that's going on we are hearing at the time, in the environment. Everything that they're doing we're hearing. To me, that is live. So when we get into overdubbing things, and I know that it was, it's been done for years and years and decades, and in the previous century, that there have been released DVDs that are overdubbed and they're labelled as being live. But when something is labelled as live and it has been overdubbed and it isn't actually the live sound, I don't consider that live. But yeah, I am a bit old school, that going to watch a band, at your local pub or club, that is live. They are doing that. You can hear the person's voice going into the microphone. So yeah, well, I say they are doing that. Obviously, nowadays, you can't really be sure about anything, but yeah, it just makes me think of some of the videos that I have been sent where there have been, I guess, it's not quite as bad as miming live. I say that, but some other performances are now kind of entering my mind. Not that I've analysed them, but I just get asked to look at so many different performances. And there was definitely one where the vocalist was using auto-tune, but it was an open mic night. So they were using auto-tune on a really, I don't know, informal kind of thing at a pub. So you think, well, yeah, everyone's jumping on board with it. And there was another person that was at a function, and it wasn't a very well-known singer or anything like that, but they were miming live, so the vocals on the backing track and they're pretending to do it. So yeah, it does happen all the time. But anyway, moving on, I thought I'd just cover that last video because I released a shorts video today where I stated, are reputations being damaged through bad editing? Because it might be that they've just put the wrong bit of footage with the wrong bit of audio, but then anybody who's looking into that, such as myself, as I have been asked to do, I will point out what's going on. And does that reflect badly on the band, that the audio isn't as it was? And yeah, it's very difficult because it could just be the TV editing that's kind of gone wrong, and the audio might have been from the rehearsal or another performance. But again, this is why it's so important, I think, as a band and as an artist, to know exactly what's going out there. So because we had Joe Walsh the other week in an analysis video, who is so dead against technology, seemingly so in the interview, and then his next performance is heavily auto-tuned. But he's just said in the interview before that how much he disagrees with all of it. So yeah, this is really important to know what's going out there as an artist and know what people are doing to your performances, to your voice. But I think a lot of artists just perform and then don't get involved. They just let people do what they're going to do with it, in which case, yeah, you'll get auto-tune, pitch correction applied. They might even take audio from other shows and edit it or overdub. And this is why I think, as an artist, if you do see that and you know that that's going to harm your reputation, then you say to your record label, take that video down because it looks like I'm miming. Because technically, that is what people might assume because the audio doesn't match what you're doing. And yeah, the first thing people will think is that it is lip synced or mimed, because you're moving your mouth, but the audio is not moving at the same time, or we're not hearing that movement at the same time. So yeah, it's very difficult. But anyway, I can see that there have been some donations in the super chat window and over in the PayPal window as well. So I'm just quickly going to jump into the PayPal window because Philip donated £5. So thank you for that, Philip. Let me just move on to the next one because Bruce donated £4. Thank you for that, Bruce. And that's a straight up donation as well. Cindy donated £30. Thank you for that. And the message is, "Hi Phil, we finally got an answer to the Danny Sapko analysis challenge you did a while back. And no surprise, you were 100% correct in your analysis of the 3 songs about using pitch correction or not. Danny seemed impressed by your methods at getting the right answer." So thank you for that. And yeah, this was an interesting one. I don't know how many weeks ago it was, but Danny sent me something, and he sent me a challenge just to say, or try and find, if he was using pitch correction or not in either all of his performances or one of his performances or none of his performances. And yeah, it was a bit of a break from my normal videos and the way that I do analysis videos, because whenever I'm looking at performances, I always cross-reference them. So if somebody says, "Oh, is this person miming or lip-syncing?" I then go out and try and find the same audio file so that I can match them up so that we get a conclusive answer. Now, in this particular case, I didn't know Danny's voice and I'd never heard him sing before, so I couldn't build up that baseline, as I say in the video, which again, no pun intended, but I have a baseline of somebody's voice, so I know their general pitch accuracy and where their voice goes, maybe even where they transition from, chest voice into head voice, which note in their range, all that kind of stuff. But I didn't have any of that. So it was an interesting challenge because it means that all I'm doing is looking at lines on screen and pitch lines and the personality of them to see if they look like they've been edited. And yeah, that's all I had to work with. So it was a huge challenge working with a voice you've never heard before, but being able to say whether it's been pitch corrected or not. And yeah, what I did find in that video, thankfully, as Danny said, I was 100% correct, which I think is quite a good percentage. And I guess it's good for the future of Authentic Vocal, because Authentic Vocal, my side project, which I'll be kind of getting into more probably in 2026 at a deeper level, rolling it out a bit more, that is all about finding authentic vocalists, or not even finding them, but just saying what is authentic and what isn't. So it means that if I can take a voice I've never heard before and run it through pitch monitoring software and then come to a determination on that vocal, and in this particular case, the only time that I've ever been asked to do it by Danny, if I was 100% correct, then you think, well, that's pretty good. It wasn't kind of, oh, you were roughly there, you had the right idea, but getting everything correct is great. And it's good to know that after probably 6 to 7 or 8 years of looking at lines on screen, I can start to spot the personality of a vocal, even one that I haven't heard before, if it has been pitch corrected. So yeah, really interesting challenge and test, and there's every chance that it could have gone the other way, that there might have been things that I thought, oh well, no, that doesn't seem pitch corrected, and then you could just oh yeah, no, but I did pitch correct that vocal. But yeah, so it's good that's worked, and it's great to hear from Danny that I was correct with it. The other thing is, in that video I said at the beginning that the subject matter of the video is going to be either shorter than normal, or it's going to be a shorter video than normal, something like that, because I was looking at a shorts video, and sometimes I look at Instagram reels, and I say exactly the same thing there, because normally we do maybe 15 or 20 minutes worth of a video, and with those videos it can be 10 minutes, it can be 12 minutes, so they don't last as long. And what I didn't know, and I still don't know, how tall Danny is. But I've seen from different comments and what he said on his channel, because he said that he thought that I said it was a shorter, or the subject material was shorter than normal. He thought that that was me intentionally saying something about his height, but I still don't know how tall he is. But from I guess from his response, maybe, I don't know, he thinks he's short, or has said that he's short in his videos. I don't know. So I did comment to say underneath his video that, yeah, that there's no joking or ill intent in my intro. It is something that I do say about when we're looking at shorts or reels. And I always have to think for a second to remember that a reel is on Instagram and a shorts video is on YouTube, because I'm not particularly into the whole shorts and reels thing, and I sometimes get them mixed up and call a reel a short and a short and a reel, but it's just the same thing on different platforms. So anyway, there you go. Right, thank you for that, Cindy, and you guys can check out that video if you want to, and I might do a follow-up video to that to let everybody know on the channel the results of that, because I think I did say in the future that Danny might do a video telling me and everyone exactly what he did with his vocal. But anyway, thank you for that. And Lisa W has donated £3.64, so thank you for that. And the message is Hingil, which is like hi Phil, but pressing lots of keys like I do on the keyboard. So the message is, please give us a quick ARM update. The course is calling to you. Can you hear it? So thank you for that. And it's not really calling at the moment, because today and last night was -3. I think today was like 6 degrees, and I'm not particularly into going out in minus temperatures or very cold. I mean, it's above freezing now, so it's 4 degrees here. So things are very, very cool or cold, and it starts getting dark at about 4 p.m. now because of the clocks changing and getting into winter. So or approaching a very, very cold time of year. I guess December, January, it'll start getting really cold. But I'm not in a condition to play at the moment anyway. What I'm trying to do, my plan is for my ARM to be hopefully ready to play in the summer of 2026. That is the time that I've given myself, thinking, right, if I just keep on doing what I'm doing, gradually building things up, and keep doing the exercise that I'm doing, then hopefully I'll be able to play golf next year in the summertime. So I've still got maybe 6 or 7 months of rehab and exercise to go. But we'll have to wait and see. I think the problem is that golf is such I was going to say antagonistic movement for it. I don't know whether that's the right word or not, but it's something that is going to set it off, if anything is. So I want to make sure that I probably have to do a little bit more in those specific movements rather than doing more general movements that I'm doing at the moment, where I'm just kind of getting myself back in shape. So doing a very, very kind of general workout, but I'll have to get back into the physio a little bit more, the rehab exercises. But everything's feeling kind of okay at the moment. It's just every now and again I'll feel it and it'll go back a little bit, and then you improve, then you go back a little bit, then you improve, and you go back a little bit. It's just one of those things. 2 steps forward, 1 step back, but that's how it works with ligaments and tendons. So thank you for that. And Karen's donated £5.80, so thank you for that. And the message is, hi Phil, I loved your analysis on Pat Benatar. You were like Sherlock Holmes. I'd like to share a quote. When you are present, the world is truly alive. Do you believe there's truth in this? I tend to wonder. It's vice versa. Thanks for all you do, for being you. Cheers, Karen. So thank you for that. When you are present, the world is truly alive. So, yes, I think if I don't know, it's you've got to be mentally switched on and present to know that everything is happening as it is. Yeah, I mean, I don't read a lot, and Sherlock Holmes isn't something that I've kind of read or I've seen. I think the first movie that came out, the Sherlock Holmes, but I haven't seen anything else, so I don't know that as a quote per se, having not watched it. But thank you for that donation and the quote from Sherlock Holmes. Now, he has an assistant or something that's called Watson, I think. I might be making that up, but for some reason I can hear him saying that, or at least have heard that in, I think, Sherlock Holmes, in areas where maybe it's in the movie, maybe it's not in the movie, maybe it's in a book, but yeah, there's a quote, and maybe somebody in the live chat room can give me the quote of Sherlock Holmes. It says something about Watson, and I'll keep an eye on that, because my dear Watson, a split image 137 says elementary. That's it. So Jonathan Gallagher says elementary, my dear Watson. That's what I was thinking of. So thank you for clearing that up. Now, there have been donations in the super chat window as well, so thank you for those. By the way, we're looking for lots of thumbs up, as many as we can get, to have the Phil Jam for tonight, number 283, which will be played if we reach 330. We're at 296 at the moment, so 34 more people. We're looking for your thumbs up before the end of the live stream. Now, Paul donated $10, so thank you for that, Paul, and the message was, howdy all y'all, let's have fun tonight, spike the likes, and let's get a Phil Jam. Peace, love, and rock. So thank you for that. Orlando donated $2, thank you for that. And the message is, which original did you start with? Hit the thumbs up. So the original for tonight was Art Not Commerce, and Mike donated $9.99, so thank you for that. And the message is, I loved the Seals and Crofts video. Thank you for that particular donation, and thank you guys, everyone, for tuning in, watching the channel, hitting the thumbs up, leaving comments, all of that cool stuff. It is very much appreciated, and especially for tuning in to these live streams and hitting the thumbs up. It really does help each live stream to get out there a little bit more. And for you catch-up crew who are going to be watching this in the future, you can still hit that thumbs up, because every thumbs up really does help. Now, something that I haven't mentioned is the cover video for tonight, which is at the top of the live chat room, and it's between I Don't Want to Miss a Thing and Hero. So, whichever one of those songs you want to hear, we've got the Aerosmith classic and the Chad Kroeger song from the Spider-Man movie. That's the Hero that it is. It's not Dave Grohl and Foo Fighters. So, yeah. Christian says, Watson was also a doctor. No one ever did say what Holmes did, yet somehow he always had money for laudanum. With lots of question marks, so there you go. I don't know a lot about it, so I can't add too much to that conversation. So yeah, we will I don't know, maybe I'll have to do a little bit of research on Sherlock Holmes, but there was a series as well. Who did the did the series have what's his name, like Cumberbatch, and I can't remember his first name, but there's an actor who played Sherlock Holmes in a series that we had here in the UK. Now, I might be making that up, because it might be somebody else. But I did watch that series, so I have seen some kind of Sherlock Holmes stuff. But what I used to watch when I was younger, and actually the sound or the soundtrack and the theme song used to freak me out a bit when I was a kid because my dad used to watch this, and it was Poirot, and I can't remember the actor's name, but I think why am I only getting surnames today? So I've been given Cumberbatch by my brain, and I've been given Suchet, which is his surname. Is it David Suchet? That's a bit of a guess. But, Benedict Cumberbatch. I mean, what a name that is. But, yeah, a lot of syllables. But anyway, getting back to it, this Poirot series, I don't know why I found the intro music so spooky. I started watching it when I was older, and it was quite cool. And it's very much like a series here in the UK that was released, obviously, in the evening, maybe once a week. My dad used to watch it, but then they used to do the reruns, which I watched. And I used to watch those when I was a personal trainer, and I might be training in the evening, and sometimes I had a lunchtime off, or I hadn't started work until the evening, and they used to show those like every lunchtime. So I used to watch one of those religiously. It's only, I don't know, maybe half an hour or an hour, but just while I was kind of getting myself ready, and yeah, I'd have my lunch watching that. So, and I think at different times in your life, you go through different stages and different rituals where there might be 6 months or 12 months when you're doing a particular job, and you just get into that particular schedule where every day you might do something. Like I just happened to watch an episode of Poirot before training people. So yeah, that was it. But that was when I was kind of 18 or 19. So I then gave everything up with football and personal training and all that kind of stuff when I was 21 to then focus on music, because I had been playing guitar since the age of 11, and I had been in bands as well, age 19. So it's all kind of happening around that same time. So Christian says David Suchet did play Poirot. You nailed it. So thank you for that. It was at least it was an accurate name this time that popped into my head, because sometimes that doesn't happen. But we will jump over to the PayPal window, because one has just popped in there, and it's Orlando again, who's donated £7. Thank you for that. There is a message here. Orlando says, I did research regarding The Lion Sleeps Tonight by The Tokens from 1961. South African Solomon Linda wrote and sang Mbube in 1939. That was the inspiration for The Lion Sleeps Tonight. Solomon's family started getting paid for his work in 1990 through court. So thank you for that, Orlando. And I don't know whether you may not know, that I have a video on my channel that explains all of this. So yeah, I go into the old recording and the Tokens version as well, and compare the two together, and yeah, mention the background behind it. But thank you, Orlando, for that little bit of information. And if you guys want to check out my video on the channel where I get into all of that stuff, then you can do. But thank you for that. Right, there's been another donation in the Super Chat window, and this is from Timothy, who has donated $20. Thank you for that. The message is, thanks for all you do. Vigilance is essential. So thank you, Tim. And yeah, it is. And with everything at the moment, with AI, the thing with AI is, I've done a few videos on it, but it seems like, day by day, week by week, things evolve. And we had the court case that I spoke about recently on the channel as well. But then, I'm still getting emails from people that are kind of using AI, and it's clear to me that they don't know what it is, and that they don't really appreciate how, when you write a song, you have written everything. Absolutely everything in that song is yours. But and even if, say for example, you work with a session musician and they might be coming up with different ideas, that is theirs. That's their intellectual property. Now, some session musicians might just ask payment for a particular session and they get a flat fee. Some might say, well, what I came up with there was so a part of the song and so essential for the song that I want to agree on a percentage of how much I'm going to get for each sale of the particular song. And then that's something that's agreed between the two parties, and you have a contract, and that's how it all works. So yeah, I am going to make a video explaining and this is something that I've been planning over the last, 3 or 4 days, where I'm going to be doing a video on AI, but explaining because I get so many emails about it, explaining to everyone how their case sits and what I think about it, and whether I consider it an original composition or whether it actually is. And I'm going to and I've done kind of a chart and a couple of charts to hopefully explain to everyone and to make it as clear as possible the difference between AI, using AI to either make a new version of one of your own songs, or using it to create a song that you're just typing in prompts, and the difference between that and an original artist, an independent artist, somebody even signed to a record label, and how that all differs. And I go through all of it. So I'm showing from the artist to then the creation of their original work, to then maybe it being an album or a single, when that's then made public either by the recording company and the contract that they've signed with a recording company, or whether it's independent when it goes to streaming software or streaming services, online streaming sites, and what happens after that, making the revenue from streams, sales, or if you've got your stuff on YouTube, getting the ad revenue if it's being featured on different channels, and then also what happens in the cases of influence and being inspired, and these things that happen to musicians and creative people. And yeah, I've designed a chart to try and explain everything, to see exactly where AI sits in all of that, because I think people are, especially from the emails that I get, people are confused as to what an original work is. And yeah, hopefully it'll clear a few things up, but maybe make it a bit easier to know exactly what has happened with an AI creation, and how actually, something that I mentioned in my last video, how an AI company don't have a product unless they take copyright or copyrighted material. They don't have a product unless they go and take that. And in order to take that, the law normally, not for AI, but the law normally means you need consent. You need an agreement with the owner of that particular song, composition, the thing that's being taken. But that isn't part of the equation when you talk about AI. So yeah, hopefully the video that I'll do quite soon will show very clearly where AI is potentially illegal, because yeah, sadly governments just haven't been up to speed. I think they might have needed some kind of chart like I've put together so that they can comprehend what AI is first of all, but how to apply the law to AI, and maybe how it should be in the future, because at the moment the things that are being produced and the way that AI has been trained, according to the standard laws that we've had over the last, over the last this century and the century before, those laws wouldn't have allowed this to happen had they been applied with the same way that they're applied to music and to artists and people that copy other people's music, and then that they're then sued in court because there's copyright law, there's things that you have to follow. But with AI, nothing was followed. But I will do a video on that, because to me it's really simple to understand, but I'm still getting people that really can't understand what AI is, and why it's not an original work when you're using AI. So, and when I say using AI. There's even an example where somebody had a demo and then they used AI to make it sound more professional, and the resultant demo has got stuff in it that wasn't in the demo. So that's not an original work of the person who made the demo. It's AI putting in different hooks and harmony lines, harmony vocals, and maybe even, changing the lead guitar line. All of that is work that the original composer didn't put into it. So that is the work of other people, of other talented individuals who, without their consent, their music was taken and fed to AI, and AI is taking little bits of everybody without their consent and putting it on somebody else's demo. And the person knows that wasn't in their demo because you can hear that, oh, there's a lead guitar in there now. I didn't write that. So, yeah, for me, it's very clear. As soon as you hear something that you haven't written in your demo, it's no longer your demo. That should have been, in real life, a session musician or one of your bandmates who played that. But, yeah, that's where it's all kind of gone wrong, because that has been taken from other musicians and they weren't even asked about having that taken from their songs, and they weren't even asked to come up with a guitar line for this demo. It's all been done without the consent of the people who have the talent that AI is working from, and AI needs to work from to even have a product for the companies. But yeah, I mean, the way that I'm talking about it now, I think the video might go on for years, me just talking about this, but I think it really does need to get broken down in simple terms and with a graph on screen just to make it really clear. So anyway, we are going to be having a field jam tonight because we've hit 340 likes. Thank you everyone for hitting the thumbs up. Of course, you can continue to do that. Every single thumbs up is very much appreciated. And tonight's field jam is going to be 5 minutes and 19 seconds. So we might have a little bit of time or extra time in the live stream, because sometimes we have a backing track that's maybe 7, 8, 9 minutes. So, Phil says, is AI actually producing anything worthwhile or just noise? And it depends what we look into. I think it's very difficult, because somebody that sent me a message via email and said, oh, so does this mean that everything that AI is doing is illegal and shouldn't be allowed? And they're very much kind of throwing the music argument in with the other argument of, say, for example, AI making a summary of a page or taking information from a page of text. And again, I mean, I answered to this person saying that anything that is copyright, anything that's copyrighted material, meaning somebody has gone through the copyright process and that is their intellectual property, if you want that, you have to get their consent. Now, say for example, it's a book. When they have written that book, they are writing that book to then sell to humans, because they're hoping that humans will buy it. So then maybe they can make enough money to write another book. And that's the way that it works. So they're writing the book to sell to humans. So with that is their intellectual property, and that book will have a copyright applied to it. So it's copyrighted material. It means that's why I can't go out and write Henry Potter and write exactly the same thing all over again, because that's illegal. I'm just copying a book and a series of books that already exist. So, yeah, in that particular case, it's very simple that when you've got something that has been registered by somebody and you can't copy it, you need their consent in order to use that or reproduce it. And that means that they have to sign a contract with you in music, but also if you wanted to have a book that maybe did very well and was about a boy wizard, and a TV company said, we want to make a series about this, they have to ask you first. They have to sign a contract with you, and you need to give your consent and say, yes, this contract is fine, I sign it, and now you can make your TV show. So yeah, that's, like I said, very simple in the real world with copyright law. But now we get to AI. if there is information on a page that isn't, copyrighted material, somebody hasn't claimed that as their intellectual property, poetry or the book, any book that I was just talking about, all of these different things, if there's stuff that, for example, might just be facts on a page, nobody is claiming the copyright for a fact. So if I was to write on the internet that gravity exists, or say, for example, one of my analysis videos, I'm pointing out something about a particular performance, that means that it's just objective facts that I'm saying. I'm not claiming copyright of those objective facts. So that if somebody else wanted to say that this particular person in this performance used auto-tune live, I'm not saying, oh, you can't say that because that's my thing. I, made that copyrighted material, that thing that I said. It does, if AI is effectively reading or listening to that, that's different. So when AI is just reading information and getting facts about the world, that's not the same as AI now coming up with something where it has taken copyrighted material. So anyway, I'll do a video in the future, but it's an interesting topic because a lot of people, I think, maybe don't necessarily appreciate what AI is all about. So Melody Rock says, did artists who signed to a record label 40 years ago agree for their music to be fed to AI? So absolutely not. Neither did, by the way, the record label. And that is the ultimate, that not only because they didn't know, it was how can you agree to something you don't know is going to exist in the future, which makes it even more ridiculous that it was taken without consent, because there's no way that they are writing their music for AI in the future to be taken, and that's now agreed. That 40 years ago, oh no, they agreed that we could take that and train our AI model on it. So that's why it's even crazier. But this is why that Udio UMG case that I referenced in a video recently, that's why the record label were taking Udio to court, because they said, we know that you've used our artists and our back catalogue of all different genres, of all different artists without our permission to train. And this is what's crazy, to train the AI model. And the AI model by itself, it can't do anything unless it's trained on something. And in the real world, it should have been trained on stuff that it had consent to be trained on. And that's the only way the law can work. And the only way that it should work. So I think in the future, and again, this is where UMG are now, I think, going to be working with Udio, and they're going to give permission for Udio to train on some of its artists, some of its songs. That's what should happen. You need consent of the people that own the copyright of whatever you are taking. So, just the fact that they haven't even asked for it, just been taking it, is crazy. So, Kyrie Lason has donated $5. Thank you for that. And the message is, the jam on Saturday was on fire. Let's do it again tonight. So it's going to be a new one tonight. Don't worry about that. Mike's donated $4.99 to stop, hydrate, resume. So, great advice. Well, on my live streams, I just tend to just chat for the whole hour and 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And I think sometimes it's a good exercise to go through to, give your vocal cords a bit of a workout and maybe talk for an hour and 15 minutes and see how your voice holds up. I think my voice has kind of got used to it, even when it's a little bit cold like now, and you might need to clear your throat and all that kind of stuff. I think it's good to kind of exercise those vocal cords a bit. So thank you for that, Mike. And Karen's donated $5, so thank you for that. And the message is a bit of let's pretend. Newsflash: AI is now illegal and punishable by jail time if used for any reason. What's your reaction? Well, it would be impossible to police. There's no way that you could police it. But I think that there are uses for AI. And it always goes back to just everything being in place that needs to be in place. So if you've got consent and everybody is aware that if you use AI on a track, it no longer is your track anymore. It's now using the talent of the people that have trained the AI. So, you could say, well, should all of the people who have been trained or been used to train the AI, should they get a percentage of what AI is then creating? And you think, well, there would be an argument for that, but that means that AI's business model goes out the window, because they think, hang on, so now we've got to pay everyone whose copyright material we've used illegally without consent. It means that, yeah, for every person that's using AI and the essential talent of the people that trained the AI in the first place, if, yeah, they're getting a percentage and the company have to give away a percentage to everyone, then, yeah, again, this is why it's so stupid that the business collapses. The only way the business can be profitable is by taking copyright material without consent. So it's an absolute contradiction as to how AI works and how it has been trained. Because there's no way the popular AI models that are making music, like Udio and Suno, there's no way that those models have been trained on the owners of that company playing a bit of guitar and feeding that to AI, or them getting their mates in as a band to play and feeding that into AI. There's no way it's been trained like that. It's been trained on everything. Every bit of music they could get their hands on that was copyright, they grabbed it and fed it to their AI, because that now makes their business massively profitable, because they don't have to pay the people who, well, they should have to, but they don't have to pay the people that make their business model work. Without the talent of the musicians, AI can't train on anything. It would produce nothing. That's how AI works. They literally needed the copyright material to be profitable. Anyway, and that's why the whole court case just fell apart for Udio, and they had to settle out of court, because, yeah, they would absolutely lose that case. And I'm sure that Universal Music Group thought along those lines of, hang on, if we give them particular artists and a particular catalogue, our back catalogue, we can now push for a percentage of maybe every creation. Because they should really be getting that. And the artist should then, if they've got that in their contract, that should then be potentially part of their royalties. That, somebody used a creation, or somebody made a creation using the set of data, that was fed into AI, and you were part of that, therefore here's your royalty for that creation. That's definitely not what the AI companies want to happen, but that would be within the laws as they would be with copyright and everything that as it is now. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Anyway, we will be jumping into the cover video for tonight, and it's going to be I Don't Want to Miss a Thing, Aerosmith classic. So I hope you guys enjoy this, and I'll see you after. Rock!
Stay awake just to hear you breathing, watch you smile while you are sleeping, while you're far away dreaming. I could spend my life in this sweet surrender. I could stay lost in this moment forever. Every moment spent with you is a moment I treasure. I don't wanna close my eyes, I don't wanna fall asleep, 'cause I miss you, babe, and I don't wanna miss a thing. 'Cause even when I dream of you, the sweetest dream will never do. I still miss you, babe, and I don't wanna miss a thing. Lying close to you, feeling your heart beating, and I wonder what you're dreaming. I wonder if it's me you're seeing, and I kiss your eyes. Thank God we're together. I just want to stay with you in this moment forever, forever and ever. I don't want to close my eyes, I don't want to fall asleep,
And there we have it. With slow fade out. That was my version of I Don't Want to Miss a Thing by Aerosmith. So I hope you guys enjoyed that one. And I was just looking in the live chat room while that was going through, and somebody said about the rights of AI, saying how can AI have any rights? And yeah, it doesn't. AI, and I just reminded me of a comment where somebody said that AI is not breaching any copyright laws because it's not copying anything of any artist. They said it's not using any part of any artist's song, so therefore it's not breaching copyright. And then my answer to that I did reply, I said it's actually it's worse than that. They are using everything of everything. So it's not just that AI's taken just a riff and it didn't have permission from the songwriter to use that riff. It's taken the whole song, everything about that person's voice. They might be a guitarist, everything about their guitar playing. It's not only taken that song, it's taken their whole album. It might have taken their life's work. So we're not talking about, and this person who was commenting, they were trying to make a case for AI, saying, well, that's why it's okay, because it's not using one particular part of somebody's song. But it's so much worse than that it's taken everything of everything. So like every genre, and this is why being influenced or being inspired as a human, and people that say, AI is just doing the same thing. It's not. AI isn't thinking, I really like that particular blues artist, so I'm going to listen to them. It's being fed stuff, and people maybe don't know how AI works. It's like a machine that a human is feeding. Like you get this song and you go, I'm going to take that song. And then somebody should have said, have you got permission to take that song? They said, well, no, but I'm going to take that song. Actually, let me get all of these songs in here from that genre. What about that genre that I have no interest in? Let's put that all in there. Let's put all that in there. Because why are they doing that? They want to cover every single prompt that could be written into AI. So they want to have a song that they can make that's going to be reggae, for example. So they put in all of the best reggae artists and songs into AI. Same for rock and hard rock and jazz and blues. So the level of copyright, I was going to say infringement, but just the breach of copyright law has been massive. It's huge. They've taken everything of everything without consent. So yeah. But the problem is it's so far gone now, as I say in my videos, it's so far gone, like what happens now? Because how can you retrospectively now say, you shouldn't have taken that one song where they've taken everything? Anyway, we're going to be getting into the Phil Jam for tonight because we have hit the target of 330. Right, so turn that on there. And okay, that is on. I can hit that. Let's click on this and okay, right. We are looking at, or going to be listening to, Jazz backing track number 1 -C minor modal groove 93 beats per minute of smooth jazz. So we're going to be having just quickly Diamond Girl donated $2 and says, which shirt tonight, Phil? Even I can't remember. Stevie Ray Vaughan, there you go. Rocking Babe donated $19.99. Thank you for that. The message was, dear Phil, if I think you'll get a big bump in sales if you model your merch. So thank you for that. And yeah, I'll have to, they have asked me, what do I want to be sent? So I'm going to have to get some stuff sent. Maybe a cap would be cool. I kind of wear caps as a very quick solution to hair all over the place. Orlando donated $5 and says, there is an AI heavy metal version of I Ran So Far Away. Can singer-songwriter Michael Score go after the people whole put it on social media? Now this is the problem with copyright law. I think you could go after the AI company and said, how does your AI know my song? The only way it can know the song to imitate it in the first place is if it has been fed it. And there's been no consent to feed that AI model and train it on the original composition. And the reason that AI has been fed everything, because AI is producing everything. It's like when somebody types in, heavy metal version of... I saw one that was heavy metal version of Angels by Robbie Williams. Guess what? It comes out with a song that is a heavy metal version, and it's got what sounds like Robbie Williams' voice on there, with all the lyrics. They're all correct. The only reason it can do that is if it knows already, if it's been fed that song before. And there's no consent from either Robbie or the record label for that to be fed to AI, for AI to then make a product of that and sell that. So yeah, that's where the whole breach and consent. But this is why, you can see. Orlando says who, not whole. So after the people who put it on social media. I don't think it's the people that put it on social media. It's the AI company who have fed it, and they're making a product from somebody's talent and somebody's original work. They're making a profit, and that original artist is getting nothing. So that's where it's all just totally contradictory for copyright law. But anyway, I'm going to press play on this. We'll just jump into it. And this is from Conietta Music, Conieta, jazz backing track number 1. Here we go. Okay, zoom out. Where's the red dude? There he is. Right, let me try and grab this. got about a minute left. And there we have it. That was a Phil Jam number, what was it, 283, and it was jazz backing track number 1, C minor modal groove, 93 beats per minute of smooth jazz, and that's coming from Conietta Music, Conieta. If you guys want to check that out yourselves and have a bit of a jam along to it. So thank you, Joe, for sending that my way, and to you guys for hitting the thumbs up and ensuring that we had the Phil Jam for tonight. Right, so let me just check that we are up to date with everything, which we are. So all that's left for me to say is try to stay as sane. Yeah, I always say this, as you know, sane and safe as you can in this crazy world in which we live, which is just getting crazier day by day, seemingly. But yeah, stay safe and sane, and I will catch you guys at the video tomorrow night, so look out for that one. I'll be live streaming on Saturday night as always, 11 PM Greenwich Mean Time, so if you can join me then it will be great, because we will be aiming for another likes goal. We'll need every single thumbs up we can get, but I will be leaving you for tonight. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you at tomorrow night's analysis video. So I'll see you then. Rock!